Okay, in this video we're going to talk about threading your machine, but I'm going to start with the thread rack. Right now I want to show you that in the thread rack we have two positions, a lower position and a higher position. Now the difference between the lower position and a higher position is if you're using big spools, I will recommend to raise the thread rack because this will allow the unwind the thread more properly from the spool when the machine is stitching. Now, if you can see here, we have two flat areas, 1, 2. This means that you can place your thread rack in two positions, lower position and higher position, depending on what spool you're using. Right now in my machine, I got the ELO thread. It's a short spool, so I normally use it in the lower position. But you can use it on the higher position when the lower position doesn't matter. So in order to put it on the higher position, just put the flat surface where the screw is, right here, and then you tighten the screw with a 2.5 millimeter Allen wrench. Like that. And there you go, you tighten the other side. And that's it. And that's how you can raise your thread rack. There we go. Okay. So it depends what type of spools you're using. If you're using a taller spool or if you're using a shorter spool, it depends on the user of the machine if they want to use the rack on the higher position or the lower position. Now for me right now, in order to do the threading for this machine, I'm going to do it on the lower position. So I'm going to loosen these screws right here. It's tight. There we go. There we go. Hold tight right there. There we go. Okay. Now to thread your machine, we got numbers right here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2, 15. And you put your spools obviously underneath this thread rack. You put it right here in the base. And here's 1, here's 2, and here's 3. Okay? So 1 is going to use 1 hole, 2 is going to use 2 holes, and 3 is going to use 3 holes. And then goes to 4, 1 hole, 5, 2 holes, and 6 is going to use the 3 holes. So underneath the last hole is going to be the spool of thread that you're going to use for this particular number. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Okay, so you pass the thread through this hole right here, and then you're going to put your thread inside these two tension discs. They're not going to go around, it's just passing through or in between those two tension discs right there. Because this, with this spring, it presses the thread and it gives a little bit of a tension. You regulate the tension right here. So, and then we have this wire, and then we have these tubes. We have these tubes right here, and we use these tubes to prevent the thread to mix with other threads, and it will cause a lot of problems if you don't have those tubes. So in order to put the thread into this tube, you have the wire, you put this wire inside this tube, like so. There you go. And then you pull, you grab the thread over there, and then you pull, and there is your thread at the end of the tube, okay? And then you put this right here, and this goes right here. And that's how it goes. We got a little tension knob right here. Same thing as the other tension. We got 2 discs. We're only going to pass the thread through in between those 2 discs. We're not going to go around. So right now I'm going to pull the disc and then boom, there we go. And then this is the thread break sensor, okay? This is what tells the machine when you got a thread break, this wheel will stop spinning, and that's how the machine knows that you got a thread break. So the machine will stop as soon as this wheel stops spinning. Okay, in this wheel, we need to have a full round, okay? It's 1 full round in this wheel. And then we got another tension knob right here. This wheel right here, it's only works for tension. This is not a thread break sensor. The thread break sensor is right here. So in here, you're going to put the thread and you're going to do a full round, a full round, and then you're going to put the thread into this spring right here. Full round, and then goes to the spring. This spring gives a little bit of its stability to the thread. Okay, with the scissors, we're gonna do a clean cut. Oops. Got too short, but I got it. And then we're going to pass the thread through this hole right here. Like so. There we go. And then we got another hole right here where you're going to pass the thread through this hole. And it has to look like this. Next, we're going to pass the thread in this hole right here. So it's coming from here to here, okay? There you go. Next, we're going to pull the thread and we're going to place it right here in this hole right here. Go up. This thread goes right there. And then to the take-up lever. This is the take-up lever. Once it's in the take-up lever, goes all the way down to the needle. But we're going to pass it through this hole right here. And there you go. It looks like that. And then I'm going to cut a clean cut. I'm going to make a clean cut, and then I'm going to put it into the needle right there. And then you finalize here in this spring. You place the thread in this spring and you are done. I'm going to do it again. I know that I use a white thread and probably is not going to look well. So I'm going to repeat the operation with a black thread so you can see it a little better, okay? Okay, I have my tube and I have my wire. So I'm going to put my wire inside the tube. And I'm going to grab the thread right here, the second thread, or the needle is going to be on needle number 2. Pull the thread out, and there it goes. There's my thread inside the tube. Place it right there. right there. Okay, we have the thread right here from the tube. We got 2 discs. We're going to pass the thread in between the 2 discs. No full round, goes straight. And then here, you got the thread break sensor. That's a full round, like so, okay? Okay, we have number 1 right here. This is going to be our number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and so on, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, okay. So we're going to cut the thread so we can have a clean tip. And then we're going to pass the thread through this hole right there. Like so, okay? You pass the thread through this hole, like so. And then you're going to do a full round . Sorry, it's harder to do it with the camera in front of me. And then it's going to be a full round and then goes to the spring, like so. There you go. And then I will cut my thread to have a clean tip. And I'm going to pass this thread through this other hole right here. Oops, sorry. Like that. Then we're going to pass the thread through this hole right there. Go all the way down to this one. Right here. Go up to the take-up lever. Go down through here. Go up to the take-up lever and go down through this hole right here. I'm gonna cut it clean tip. And then all the way goes inside to the needle and then go underneath the press foot right here and then go to the spring. And that's it. Then you repeat the same operation in all 15 if you have to. Now, a very quick tip. You don't have to take off all the thread when you are going to switch spools. Let's say this white right here, you need another color. Let's say that we want to put there a red, for example. So you don't have to take all the thread out and do all the threading of the machine in order to replace this spool. What I will recommend to do is just take the spool out, cut a thread, leave a long tail, grab another color that you want to put in here, and then you put it right there, and then you make a knot, okay? Like so. You do a knot. Just from the knot, you need to cut the thread, okay? Don't leave a long tail after the knot because it will be more difficult to pass the thread through the route of the head because it's going to be very thicker. It's going to be very hard to pass it. And from the front of the machine, just pull the thread. You will see there goes the red. And here we are, okay? You make a cut, you put it on this hole. There are people who makes the knot the way that they can pass through the eye of the needle. I don't know that. Through the needle, through the press foot, into the spring, and I'm done. And that's how you replace a spool of thread from your machine. You don't need to take the thread out and rethread the machine with a new spool. Okay? Thank you so much for watching.